Many of you guys may not know this, but I actually spend probably about 95% of my week completely alone. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am doing the ever requested coffee talk. It has been probably one of the highest requested things for me to get back into making these sorts of videos where I just kind of sit down and do like a coffee talk with you guys. I have no notebook here. I have not written out like a planned like theme or whatever. I'm just going to rant about whatever topic, kind of like how I used to. You guys get the drill. If you've been watching me for a while, you've probably seen a coffee talk before. I know we talk about kind of heavier subjects or more like advice or lifestyle or things like that. And yeah, I'm just gonna flow off of my own personal experience, my own opinion or perspective, and I don't know why I'm explaining this to you guys. Let's just jump in, shall we? So I actually asked you guys what kind of coffee talks you wanted to see, and a huge theme that I noticed in terms of the responses I was getting is to talk about being alone or lonely per se. And I feel like this is actually a really good topic for me to talk about right now because it's very relevant to my own life. I work from home. I live alone, I eat alone, I make dinner alone, I go to the gym alone, I wake up alone, I go to sleep alone. I do a lot of things alone. Okay, I have Bentley, but still, you guys know what I mean. And being somebody that's used to being in a relationship, and I've been in and out of relationships with very short periods of time of being single in between, from the time I was 15 up until like January of this year, this has been the longest period of time that I've ever been single. So while it has been like a super eye-opening time of my life, and to be honest with you guys, there have definitely been periods where I feel super lonely and isolated and alone. It has been evidently crucial to growing and how much I have grown personally this year. So I'm just gonna go off of like that. That is where I'm coming to you guys from for this video. So here's the thing about being lonely. Something huge that I've learned recently about being alone is that there is a massive difference between being lonely and being alone. These two things are not the same. It is okay to be alone. It is kind of sad to be lonely. Does that make sense? I hope so. So I feel like once you kind of make that divide, you realize that just because you are alone doesn't mean you're lonely. I've noticed it in people before, and even myself, that I feel like sometimes we have this overwhelming fear of being alone, and so we'll constantly surround ourselves by people just because we don't want to be alone. And a lot of the times we end up surrounding ourselves with bad friends, staying in a bad relationship, keeping yourself around toxic people or people that maybe you don't really vibe with or they don't really get you, but you'd rather do that than be off over here on your own. And that is just like, it's something that I've done. It's something that I feel like everybody's done probably at some point in their lives, and it's kind of sad. Some of the best things in the world is sharing experiences with other people, but the thing is, sometimes, honestly, it's better to kind of be alone than to be surrounded by the wrong people. The reason why you're feeling lonely is because you don't feel connected to these people, or maybe they don't genuinely care about you, or maybe you are hanging out with the wrong people for the wrong reasons. I would rather spend a lot of time alone and a long time alone and wait for the right people to walk into my life than to constantly surround myself with people that drain my energy and make me feel really crummy about myself just because I'm afraid to be alone, you know? Solitude is crucial for personal growth. And for you to grow and be the person you're supposed to be, maybe you have to go through a kind of phase of solitude in order to get to where you're going and in order to meet better people for you and meet better people for your life. We have to learn to be okay on our own. We have to learn to enjoy hanging out with ourselves, and it is so important to do. You have to be your own best friend sometimes. Actually, no. You have to be your own best friend all the friggin' time. You always have to have your own back. You have to have your own best interest at heart. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes time, it takes practice, and the huge thing is it takes the right mindset. But honestly, once you start to learn to be okay on your own, you're kind of invincible. Of course, you want people around you, and I'm not saying that you should be like, oh, I don't need anyone, like screw everybody, because that's definitely not the case. But you have to learn to be independent. You have to learn to love yourself and then love the time of being alone and love your own company. Because if you can't love yourself and you can't enjoy yourself for who you are and on your own, then how can anybody else, you know? Because if you don't see your own value and you don't see how fun and awesome you are, even just hanging out on your own, then it's going to be ridiculously hard for other people too. How much you enjoy spending time alone is a huge reflection of your own self-esteem. I've probably gone through, and I'm not saying I'm alone all of the time, but I've definitely gone through the last couple months pretty alone. Like I have a couple close, like really, really close friends, but I don't have anybody that I talk to every single day aside from like my family. I don't know, I've had a lot of like big shifts and change in terms of friendships and relationships and such. I've really had to kind of take a step back and enjoy my own solitude, and it hasn't been an easy thing to do. It's hard. I can't explain to you guys how important it was, and it still is, to my own personal like development and growth, because I have never learned so much about myself or grown so much within myself than I have this year, just 2016. You have to find things that make you happy on your own and fight for yourself and be your own best friend. Throw on a face mask, pour yourself a glass of wine or coffee or tea, throw on your favorite TV show, take yourself out to the movies, take yourself out for food, go out and do things on your own, throw in your headphones and just kind of vibe out in terms of all of life. See this time of being alone or maybe isolated or not really having a lot of people to surround yourself with as an opportunity to grow within yourself. You also have to have hope that there's people waiting for you further down the road in terms of life. You just have to get there, and you're not going to get there wallowing in your own self-pity or feeling upset because you're alone. You can't wait around for someone to save you or fix you or make you feel happy or better. You have to learn to do it on your own, and I am such a big believer of this. Somebody walks out of your life, yeah, it will shatter your heart to a million pieces, or if you lose a friend, it's going to make you feel absolutely crummy about yourself, but as long as you know and you've built that foundation within yourself, you know you're going to get through because you've gone through periods of solitude, you've gone through periods of being alone, so that no matter who walks in and out of your life, you're invincible, you're unbreakable. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be times in your life where people will completely disappoint you, but it just means that you know you're going to make it through because you've been here before. You know how to enjoy your own company and enjoy your own time. If you're going through a period like that right now and you're watching this and you feel lonely, see it as an opportunity to grow and to learn to love yourself and hang out by yourself and enjoy that time alone. It stems from finding a passion. It stems from learning to enjoy yourself and relax and enjoy your own company, and also to keep your mind busy and yourself busy. Push yourself to get out and do classes, or to go to the gym, or to make yourself healthy meals, to get really into a TV show or a book or anything like that. Just start doing things like that that make you feel completely fine on your own. Time will pass and suddenly you'll be surrounded in a room full of people that you absolutely love and adore, and you'll realize you made it through. Even if you end up back there, you'll persevere because you've done it before and you know how to be okay on your own 2 feet. You know how to be independent. You know that you always got yourself, because that is one of the most important possible things to learn. These times of feeling lonely and by yourself are when you're really going to discover who you are and create who you are and define who you are. The best advice I can give you guys is to not focus on what's missing, but focus on what's here and what you can control and what you do have. There's no reason why you should ever feel like you need somebody to give you a reason to wake up in the morning. I know what it's like to feel alone, and I know what it's like to feel lonely. The best thing that it ever taught me, and the best thing I've ever learned, is stop looking for what you need in other people and start finding it within yourself. I don't even have a coffee for this coffee talk, and I hope this coffee talk made sense because I feel like I was kind of talking in circles. And of course, if there's anything that you guys want to add to this topic, be sure to leave it down below. And you guys always create like the best freaking comment sections. Everybody's always so nice and supportive of each other, so we can continue on this conversation down below. If you guys want to add to this or to share your story or your struggle, anything like that, just love you guys. And I hope you guys know that throughout all of the like weirdness, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, especially of this year, you guys have been such a constant for me, and you guys are one of the main reasons I don't feel alone. So if you are watching this and you feel alone and you feel lonely, you're part of this community of all of us, with me and everybody else that's watching this and everybody that's commenting down below. We're all a community. This amazing freaking thing that we've created on this like interweb across the world, and it's just crazy. So yeah, you guys can always tweet at me or whatever, and I will try and see it as many times as possible for those of you guys that are feeling alone. I go through the same struggle, like we all honestly do. So that's it. And other than that, I will see you guys all in a future video. Bye guys. And all things. I know you guys have been super antsy for me to be putting up some fall videos, but the only thing is, if you guys don't know this already, I'm doing Youtober, which means that there's going to be a new video every single